Hello there, beautiful internet and you fantastic creatures of the beyond. We're gonna do an interesting experiment today. We're gonna create some flowers. And initially, I was thinking of doing something like, you know, roses. Let me see if I can bring it. But then I thought, it's a bit too cliche to use roses. So I thought that maybe we would try something a bit more new and ingenious. So I thought of doing some cherry flowers, cherry blossoms. I don't know how they're called. Find them quite interesting. Um, Unlike roses, which are kind of condensed, these are very open and very plain, but once we get here into the zooming element, we're gonna discover some very freaky things that flowers do. So before we start, I think it's good to kind of understand how a flower looks like from a biological point of view. So I think this is the same type of flower. So we have the ovary, the sepal over here, then we have the filaments and the anther. We have the petal, obviously, and then we have this, it's called style and stigma. Interesting. So we kind of have to mask this behind the petal somehow while keeping everything else combined in here. If we look really closely here, we realize that these filaments don't come from inside. They are born from the sepal part of this interior leaves, let's call them. uh, so yeah, flowers can look rather alien in nature. Um, I think I'm just gonna focus to keep these anthers, I'm gonna call them pollens, quite yellow. And we'll see. I don't actually know what function the ovary and the style, the stigma have on a flower. Quite interesting. Anyway, so let's focus on our cherry blossom. Let me just put this back. And I have a few more references here and there just for good measure. Okay, so let's see. If we look here, we have this style, and we could go very plain and simple, but I think it would be we would gain a lot by creating this small indentation around here. It's such visually pleasant. That, and then we have this spoon-like or cup-like petal shape, which again gives a lot of depth and three-dimensionality. Because here we can see that it's quite two-dimensional. And then maybe we'll combine this with some leaves. I'm not sure if we're going to use these leaves specifically. They look a bit too, I don't know, too angled. But I think this looks nice. So let's start. I'm gonna work. So I have my palette over here, but I'm gonna use this a bit later. For now, I'm just gonna hide it. And we're gonna use most of the tricks that we have used so far. Let me just save this. I don't know, where the hell are we going to save this? Where are the downloads? I have no idea. There we go. Flower power. Voila. Okay, so let's start. We're gonna focus on the colors and everything afterwards. I think we're gonna make a few changes here just so we can show a bit behind. I don't know, it's quite difficult to reproduce this part because it's so masked because of the petals. But maybe if we go into our canvas and create something a little longer, maybe I'll elongate it after I create the petal itself. So let's go slowly, like so. Just tiny indentation. Of course, painting it is much easier than doing it this way. But with a bit of patience, we can get some very beautiful results, I would say. Like so. Like so. And we're just gonna chill and do them slowly. There's no rush. Everything is fine. Nothing is burning yet. This is an interesting curve. You can learn a lot by curving, doing these small curves. It teaches you how to make very irregular shapes. You see, there are sometimes very pointy elements here. And then you have very subtle indentations like this. In essence, petals can be a bit like leaves. They do follow a bit of commonality in the sense that they do have, but it's hard to see here, although we can kind of follow the shadows. We see that it has a root going through the middle of it, and then there are some veins covering it. Let me see if I can see it here better. It's a bit difficult to spot, but they kind of follow the same principles as leaves. Okay, kind of like this. I'm just gonna leave monotone colors for now, just so I can get an idea of where I'm placing them. And I'm gonna do them on separate little shapes. Not like this. Okay. I know that sometimes zooming in too much can make you lose perspective. But I find it that when you're zooming in, you see a lot of details that are not very obvious. Like you can see that it's three-dimensional here because it goes from this white value. And there is a subtle color, a subtle change in the gradient. It goes to this grayish. Well, obviously there's also the image pixelation to take into account, but the point is that there is a shadow here. It's very subtle, but then you have a highlight over here, and it's just fantastic how you can give this impression of, oh, this is it has a lot of depth, a lot of weight to it when you're doing it like that. We're gonna slowly play around and see what we can do about that. I'm just generally following the contour. Not trying to get anything wild out of it, but something lean, like a mean machine, that looks cool and slender and sexy. Well, this is getting a bit confusing here because we are starting to lose the shape due to the elements that are going in between. Okay, let's try to kind of create this tail. Okay, I'm happy with that. So this, I forgot what the name was. Filament, yeah. This filament is going to mask the way we're going to combine these things. And there's a lot of spacing in between. We can see it here a bit. So I'm gonna start from somewhere here, a bit lower. Try to take those curves to be a bit more chunky. There we go. We're gonna get masked by the top flower, but that's alright. Can kind of imagine how this is gonna go. And I'm building it, I'm not cutting it like this because maybe, who knows, I want to shift it around and have a bit of a complex shape here, like an assembly. So maybe we can play with some of the positioning afterwards, just so we can get I don't know, I have some ideas in my head, but I'm not sure exactly how they're gonna look at the end. We're still gonna have to do this part afterwards, so maybe I should have started with this, because if I'm taking it in layers, this layer is on top of the leaves, of the petals, sorry. But then the petals are more easier to kind of follow along, and they're a bit more pleasant to define. But slowly, 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 we're gonna get there. Look at this interesting shape here. Whoop. Yeah, there we go. That's the good stuff. Oops, it's too much. Perfect. There we go. Let's zoom out. Oh, I also found a tool that's quite awesome, and I didn't know it was there. Or maybe I was blind and I didn't see it all this time. I'll show you in a moment. I think you guys are going to appreciate this. Okay, let's go like this. Voila. So you know, like in Inkscape, you have to, when you select with the selector tool, you have to go like this to select everything, because if you're gonna go like this petal is not gonna get selected. Well, check this out. We have a toggle selection box to select all touched objects. So if I'm gonna go like this, see, I'm not gonna go all the way. Ta-da! Now, to be honest, this is nice, but I'm so used to selecting everything. But then again, my selections, I always go with my my node tool, because I usually have nested elements, and the node tool just is surgically accurate and selects exactly what I want. And then I can just move it around with the move tool, whatever. I mean, it's both ways are nice. And then you have the marquee selection tool, or the selection, I don't know, you know, this one where we press Alt and bam bam bam. That's also nice. I like all ways. Inkscape is so full of surprises. Let's go like this, and a bit like this. There we go. Oh, that looks so nice. Okay. It's just like a meditation kind of session. Just relax, listen to music, scribble around, do weird shapes, listen to mental pandas yapping on which this is Twitch, and then it will be uploaded to YouTube. There we go. Oh, this looks quite cool. so. And obviously, you're not gonna notice these things, but it's very good practice to just create small deviations like this. It creates such an organic shape. When you're designing art, there is no rush. You can take as much time as you wish. Actually, I found this quite interesting. There are people out there who always think like, oh, you have to learn art really fast to be really good and blah 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 blah. But to be honest, some of the best artists in the world took a long time to develop their art. And when I say develop, I mean they were like really bad at drawing. You're not born with this skill. You can learn it. All you need is just a bit of observation and you're good to go. Don't need anything special. Just need to see how curves and shapes and lines just combine with each other. And the more you practice with them and do weird things, the easier it becomes. So let's group these beautiful petals together. Let's call them petals. Oops. Petals. Okie dokie. So I'm gonna hide them for now. And let's focus on this shape over here. Now this shape has a lot of elements, but since these start directly from this part, we could kind of... Well, let's try it, I don't know. So we have... I might have to do them in some sections, like this one is not attached to anything, but this one kind of defines the part, so maybe... we shall see. Let's go like this. I'm just gonna create the filaments for now at least. Maybe that's too thick. Getting these proportions are quite sneaky. So the thing is, we're going to have to make some surgery here, or maybe some masking, we shall see, because this is where the flower kind of intersects with this part. So since this is on top and the flower has to be in between this, we'll do some clever tricks there. But maybe we'll just create something like so for now. Just an impression. Since these elements kind of go like this. So this one is going this way. Although this one also takes a bit of priority here, but no problemo, cavaliero. We'll find a solution for that. Look at this beautiful bend. It just goes like this. Then we have to come back. I'm gonna correct it afterwards. Just for now I still want to kind of get that general shape. You see it's getting thick, and here we have a small indentation like this. Again, you don't have to follow perfectly along. You can, but I find it that when you're rushing, you're missing out on a lot of details. And this has to be a pleasant experience. You don't have to rush anything. Just relax. This is turning into an ASMR session. All I have to do is start whispering. But no. No. So let's reduce the opacity here. Kind of get an idea of where we have to make small corrections. Like so, like so. Maybe I can push this a bit so. Perfect. Okay, so I think this one is kind of done. Let's hide it for now so we can focus on the other elements. Or maybe I won't hide it. I will create this outline. I would create it, but I'm not sure we have a stroke. Do you? Let's put it on 5. What the hell? Where's the stroke? Oh, it's undefined. Sneaky. Or not. Okay, something weird is happening. I can't put a stroke on this. Why are you being so bad with me? It's kind of weird. Either the stroke is too small or... But it should be big. Let's try a 20. No, it's definitely showing, but... Huh. This is weird. Let's try on a different object. Maybe I'm doing something silly. Well, I definitely am doing something silly, but I have no idea what. Because for some reason... Oh, the alpha is down. Ah, I see. I was looking at the opacity and I was like, what the heck? Sneaky. Sneaky, sneaky. So let's apply it here as well. That's too much. Let's put it on 1. I'm gonna make this invisible for now, maybe a 0.5. There we go. And now let's focus on the other things. Come on. Give me my Bezier tool, which I... Oh, what the heck did I do? Ah, I'm so silly. Never mind. Okay, so let's create this filament over here. There we go. I'm gonna put it underneath. Well, it doesn't show right now because their field is empty. Now, these ones are more independent. So I'm gonna create the independent ones and then I'm gonna focus on the back ones. I'm gonna make them in one go. And I'll explain afterwards why. Maybe I'll even combine them, I'll see. So for now, let's just focus on these ones. Go a little bit like so. From the interior. There we go. And this one turns a little bit like this. Bam. Perfection. Let's put it underneath in the hierarchy. So this one... Well, definitely this one. Let's go like this. And then like this. So this one is becoming quite chunky over here. Nice. That's too much. Okay. I think I'm gonna create this interior element. This one is gonna be a bit tricky here. Let's see. So this one comes from this side. It's quite straight, isn't it? Although here it isn't. So maybe I'm gonna try to give it a bit of deformation as well. Just so it doesn't look too symmetrical. Okay, and then it's gonna be somewhere here. Okay, okay. Perfect. So now let's figure out. Oh, there is one more here. I missed. Actually, I think this one can also be independent. But this one connects with this one connects with this one here. Yeah, this one is independent. Okay, this one. So one more. This one has quite an interesting shape. It goes very, very thin at the top. Like something like so. Maybe that's too much. And then it goes to become a bit chunky. Pam, 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 pam. Perfect. Okay, so now let's focus on the big ones. So these ones, I'm gonna start from somewhere like so. To create this membrane. And the membrane is going to be incorporated. I remember Cypher's Hill. Insane in the main brain. So we're gonna make insane in the membrane. Won't we? Something like so. Then it's becoming thinner again. That's quite awesome. Now this is going to have this polyp over here or whatever it's called. And then we want to raise over here. Go a little bit like so. Like so. Then we're gonna come here. Wham bam. Hope I got it right. Now interestingly enough, this membrane is like the membrane between your fingers. But we're gonna have to figure out how to make the gradation of colors going this way. I have some ideas. Okay. This is gonna take a bit of time. to get right, but if we get it right, it's gonna look awesome. Awesome possum. Trying not to go with sharp angles here at the intersection. Just small curves. Okay. Okay, like so. And it's interesting, these things are like seeds, you see, or they're splitting in the middle. Quite fun. As I said, just a little bit of observation. Nature can teach you a lot about geometrical shapes and organic shapes especially. You can apply this into your art. You're just every time you're observing something, you're just creating a new set in your mental library of how to use it in the future and how to apply it. You see, like the curvature, it's not like here. It takes a very steep curve, and it's not always straight. As you can see, it's not the center is somewhere here, but it is going like in elliptical shapes in a way. It's not really circular or semicircular. I mean, semi-elliptical. This one needs to be a bit like so. So let's accentuate this curvature here. And we're gonna come like so. Like this. We're gonna get lost behind this. So let's focus. Try not to, as I did with the petal over here, try not to skip things. Try to create a continuation. Imagine how it would look behind. Because then, if you shift it around, it's not gonna look messy. I learned this the hard way. I did a body for a little creature, and I was like, this part is not gonna be shown behind the hand. And then somebody asked me, can you move the hand or do something with the hand to look different? And I was like, yeah, sure. And then I moved the hand and I realized, oh damn, I didn't do the shapes here. So it looked all just, you know, messy. And although that is a tactic that is used in games, like for example, if you would have, so games in order to save resources, especially with graphics and images, if you're looking at, let's say, 2D game that's trying to look like 3D-ish, like 2.5D, oh, this is interesting. This one is going here. They will just draw the faces that you can see forward. But if you try to turn that object, like let's say you have access to the game assets, if you try to turn the objects, you will see that on the opposite side there will be like empty fields, transparent backgrounds or whatever. And that is because in games there are a lot, like every little graphic that you load, depending on the pixel ratio and so on, puts a strain on the resources of the performance of the game. So that's why they try to save this performance by hiding some elements. Of course, with better computers these days, this is not much of an issue. But even so, if you're trying to build like graphics that are 4K or 8K or 1000 something K, then that's 100,000. Anyway, no, that's a million. Then you would. Oh, this is gonna connect here, I suppose. then you would still have to save some resources. Because even on a computer, try to open a very high resolution image and you will see it will lag, or you will have a bit of an issue with the photo viewer zooming in or moving or panning or whatever, because it has to move so many pixels, and the same happens on a game, especially on a game where the pixels are also in constant motion, especially on a character or something like that. Okay, let's see where we're going to close this. So I'm gonna try to go a little bit more like with these curvatures. There we go. I think that looks fantastic. Let's put it all the way behind. And we have two more that I have missed, I think. Actually, three. Oh, there's another one over here. Sneaky. Sneaky, sneaky. Okay, let's try to put it from over here. Sometimes I wonder, would it be nice to have like nodes in Inkscape that have T-sections? What I mean by that, it's like if I would want to combine this like so and have another one going like this way. Would be really nice to have an intersection of 3 lines in one place. Because then you can shift around things more fluidly. Okay, let's see. This one is coming from this part. Okay, I'm gonna start with this one because I can see it a bit better. Obviously, we do not have to do all of them, but I find it so relaxing to do these lines. These curves. And it kind of gives me an idea of how the biology of this flower really stands out, because it kind of gives that weight to it. Like if this wasn't here, it would be sort of like an empty space. Sometimes you kind of feel there is to be a balance to fill in that negative space with something. Okay, I'm gonna try to make this one a bit sneakier since we can't see much of it. I'm gonna try to blend it in like so. There we go. Maybe that's a little bit too harsh. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, let's put it all the way to the back, and this one as well. It's too much. Okay, so there is something more happening over here. So I'm gonna just create this shape right now. Something like so. Yeah, that looks really nice. And we're gonna try to combine these colors here with this ovary or whatever it's called. Good. So I'm gonna call this extension, well, let's call it the center, or how should we call it? Well, core, flower core, flower power. For now I'm not trying to create this shape here because I might play with some concepts and see what I can get. Okay, this is a good good progress. As you can see, we already have an issue here. I accidentally moved the petals. Oh, actually I flipped them. Haha, sneaky. I should have locked them. Okay, so this will have to go over here somehow. Either I mask it, I mask this part. I think I'm gonna go with a mask. But until then, let's kind of get an idea of what we want to make here. So I'm gonna make the colors something like this. There we go. And then we're gonna do them individually because here it's gonna be a separate section. Looks quite alien in nature, doesn't it? Okay, let's try to fix this part. So how would I go about doing this? That is an interesting question. Well, the thing is, if I want to move these petals around, maybe I'll move these petals a bit more. Let's see. Kind of want to make some more spacing between the petals. Let them look like they're breathing. Something like this. This is why I created this root a bit, or whatever, this tail longer. I kind of like this. There is this negative space going on here. I can push it a bit more. And this one as well. Even turn it a bit, like so. Let's have a look at it. Right now, since the color is very sharp, but we're gonna fix this problem. It's not actually a problem. If I can even fix it now, if I'm gonna give it a blur. You see, it's already blending with the rest. But for now, I'm just gonna leave it like so. Let's figure out how we're going to fix this. Kind of want to make it non-destructive in a way, because I don't want to cut through it. So one way of doing this would be to select this and this, duplicate them, combine them, take them to the core, and I don't know. Something like so. And then let's use the shape builder. Oops, I forgot to select this. Now I just want to keep this and this. Center. Perfect. Well, let's combine them again. It's not very ideal, but it is what it is. So this comes like this, but I kind of want to retain this shape here, so I'm gonna duplicate this. Shoot, what did I do? Okay, never mind. Let's make them like this. So, let's see. So this one would kind of have to come something like this. And this one has to be cut over here and something like this. So I could do it manually. I think it's much easier. Something like so. And let's try the shape builder again. Hop. And hop. There we go. And I'm gonna do the same here. Kind of gonna go like this. So I'm going to connect it something like so. No. Okay, let's see what happens. Actually, that's not really good. What is it? I don't know. Let's see. So I'm gonna select this with this. And shape builder. Bam. Oh no. What did I do? Oh, actually no, it's okay. Because these are separated. Okay. So now this and this, let's combine them. So these have to mask these little corners over here. So then I would have to make something like so. And okay, so let's see. Now, if I'm gonna select, well, let me remove this. So I'm gonna select this with this. Well, actually, let me make it correct. So it's gonna be the mask. And we're selecting this with this. Set the clip. And now let's enable back our petals. Well, more or less. I think it looks good. And now if I try to move a petal, I can kind of move along this. It's not perfect, but at least it's non-destructible. And I can easily repair it. Well, first of all, let's undo this clip. Because I forgot to make it inside the group. Now let's set the clip. What the heck is this? Oh, that one shouldn't be there. Go all the way down. There we go. Perfect. Okay, let's see if we can fix a thing here. So I'm gonna select this. Let's push this a little bit inwards. I see. Okay, that looks a bit better. Maybe we can push it a bit more inwards. like so, and make it like this. There we go. Much better. And here just a tiny bit. Oops. Ah, well, whatever. Let's do the same this way. So select this. Push this inwards. I love it. Doesn't have to be perfect. We'll mask those little gaps so they don't protrude. Okay, so far so good. This does look very alien in nature, doesn't it? What else should we do here? Let's see. Well, first of all, let's kind of try to match up the colors. So I'm gonna get my color palette. Okay, let's enable back the image. Now let me disable this core. And now let's kind of get some values in. So I will play with the colors because I don't know, this whitish pink is too bland. So we're gonna try to make something more out of it. Oh, oops. Didn't select the color picker. So we're gonna go inside something like that. The stem is going to have something like this. And the interior, well, the interior has a few things in there. It has this darkish color and with some artifacts, but we're gonna address that a little bit later. And then I want to take this one as well. Okay. Maybe we also want to make a bit of a lighter. Yeah, there we go. To make this transition over here. And here, this is gonna be quite interesting what we're going to apply here. But let's do something about the leaves as well. So I'm gonna select this. For now, I'm just gonna select this white. Maybe I want to be a bit more pinkish. And this is getting closer to that. But we're gonna play with the values afterwards. So now, let's do something interesting. Let's create some controllers. I'm gonna go to the petals and let me just select one of them. And we're gonna create ourselves let's see, maybe I'll just create it manually. Let's call these petals. Okay, so it already added this, so let me just add the other ones as well. And now paint order. Where is the fill? There we go. So I'm gonna add the fill to the petals. Oh, come on. Ah. Fill. And now let's just add a red. Okay, perfect. This means it works. But we don't want a red, we want to create a controller. So since we are using this, let's create a swatch. But can I rename these swatches? No. Be interesting. Okay, so let's go to our auto to have it here. So now this swatch is called swatch 66. Good, so let's go back here, petals, and let's call it swatch 66. Bam. Maybe I didn't. Well, wait a second. How the hell do I apply the swatch here? Oh, it's URL. I forgot. Wait, linear gradient. Why are you putting a linear gradient? Weird. Okay, so it's URL. There we go. So now the advantage of this is that I can go into the swatch and just change the color however I wish. See? Super easy. I can just control it from here. I don't need to click on the petals. This is why I created the palette. So for now, let's just leave it like so. But this is just because we have many elements here, so we're just gonna keep it simple as this, only for these swatches. Okay, let's save. But for the core, well, this is gonna be a bit different, won't it? Let's see. I'm gonna go and reduce the opacity. Actually, let's empty everything. I think we're gonna work with masks here. I'm not sure. Should we combine them? This is quite difficult to say. No, I will not combine them because I kind of want to show three-dimensionality here in the overlaps. Let's start with this color. It's gonna be this color. But the question is, how do we apply this here? Huh? So this this is gonna be tricky. So first of all, we have this. Actually, it's not gonna be tricky. I'm just being silly. We're gonna create a mask. we're already having a mask applied to this, but we're just gonna duplicate it, create it as a mask. Let me go back to my Inkscape, false. And let's create a shape in here. Something like so. There we go. And this one is going to have, well, this one has to be over here. So let's disable it for a moment. It's gonna have this color over here. Actually, let's choose this color from over here. Let's make it a bit uniform. Okay, so now if I apply, oh, first we group it, then we apply the clip. Perfect. And now if I go here and just blur it, perfect. That looks perfect for me. So in the same sense, we're going to apply the rest of the colors inside. So how should we do this? I have two options here. I could just duplicate this path and put it inside the exact same clipping mask, or I can make a shape as well. Let's try with a shape. Let's see how it works. Because you see there is another gradient of pink here. So maybe I kind of want to go like so. Inside here, and this gradient is this, I think. Okay, it needs to be a bit lower under this. There we go. Now we blur it. Perfect. And now we just apply another shape underneath it to finish the whole thing. This one can just go like so. I'm gonna apply this color for now. I'm not sure if I want to apply them as swatches yet, as global swatches. I need to still see how it looks. So this one has to go all the way underneath. And we can just leave it like that, we don't need to blur it. Okay, so now let's have a look. I'm gonna disable the border here. Of course, we're still missing this polyps on top, so that's why it's gonna look weird. But now let's have a look at the before and after. So this one is this one, right? I think it's kind of fitting. Sure, the colors are a bit strong. What the hell is happening here? interesting. I think there's, yeah, the lines behind. Never mind, we're gonna fix that later. Okay, so I think that fits perfectly. I'll still have to do the other ones as well, kind of in the same fashion. And I might create them as global colors, but right now I still have to kind of blend this part over here into this, so maybe I'll come with something on top of it. It's starting to shape up, let's see. I kind of like it. Although now that I think about it, I don't think I needed this last one. Because I had this, I can just, yeah, let me remove it. I'm just gonna create it as a base color. So I'm gonna create it like so, and just remove the border. There we go, perfect. Less geometry. Basically I had the shape, that shape inside with the same color, but then I forgot I had this outline here, so I just removed the outline and I just filled it with the base color. Let's also make a background over here. So let's put it in sub effects. Okay, and let's reduce the saturation a bit. Just to get an idea of what we're looking at. Yeah, I like it. I think I messed up something here. Something disappeared. Okay, let's call this canvas background. And we're gonna disable it for now. Yeah, I messed up something. I ate the interior. It was another part. Huh. I don't know how I messed it up. Anyway, I'll probably work on this next time, because an 1 hour session is good enough for me. But we're making good progress. And besides, we can just relax doing these flowers. Flowers are awesome. Okay, superb creatures of the beyond. I'll catch you in the next episode. You stay awesome. See ya. Bye 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 bye.